So we have Derrick calling in from Ohio, and evidently they don't have any preferences on pronouns. So uh, Derrick wants to know if we've ever asked Jesus for evidence. So Derrick, I don't know if you're aware, but not only was I a fundamentalist, evangelical, Southern Baptist Christian, but I walked down the aisle and accepted Jesus into my heart at the age of 5. So yes, I've spoken to Jesus many, many times, never had Jesus reply back.
So you know that the devil is a liar and will try to deceive you, and you've asked Jesus to reveal himself to you, but Jesus hasn't done that. And so I'm just wondering, like, what if you just went on, like, living your life for Jesus, and then, like, on your deathbed,
Why would I do that?
throughout your life,
why would I do that?
Well, because if you believe that he was real, like when you prayed and asked him to show himself.
I don't believe that he was real,
confirmation.
but I don't believe that he was real. But even if he was real, that doesn't mean I should live my life for that person, right?
In that case, yes. But I was saying, like, if you like truly believed in Jesus, but you just wanted him to like show you his face or something like that, but you still believed in him, so you went on like living your whole life believing him, but you still pray to him at the same time to reveal his face to you.
Derrick, can you just get to the punchline? Because nobody believes that you're for real. You genuinely don't make any attempt to understand or communicate or interact on the actual subject. This is beyond ridiculous. So can you just get to the punchline so I can move on to a real caller?
Well, there's actually no punchline.
That's kind of disappointing. So you called into two people who used to believe to ask us if we've ever asked Jesus for evidence. Yes, we have. Have you, Derrick, asked Jesus for evidence?
Yes, I have prayed to Jesus to ask him to show himself to me.
What did Jesus say?
Well, I'm still waiting on a reply.
So you asked Jesus for evidence and you're still waiting on a reply. How long has it been?
I mean, a while.
Dude, he's just not that into you.
Yeah, Derrick, what do you think that wait? What do you think that wait?
Wholly ghosted.
What do you think that wait should be telling you?
It's telling me that it's not telling me that he's not answering me. It's just telling me that he's going to answer me on his time.
How is that any different than he's never going to? Yeah, how's that any different between he's never going to answer you, or he's just not there to answer you? How can you? Because you have three possibilities there. Go ahead. Because
I believe that Jesus is real. So therefore, I believe that he will answer me because he is real to me.
Derrick, can what you believe and what reality actually is be different?
Well, I believe in what reality is.
Derrick, yeah, very straightforward question. Okay, good. So what you believe doesn't tell us at all what's actually the case. So you can say all day, I believe Jesus is there. He's just waiting to reveal himself to me or answer me. And it could be the case that he's not there at all. So don't appeal to your belief. What else do you have?
Well, I just believe that he is real. And so
we just said,
I don't know what you're asking.
Okay, I'll go over one more time. Okay, you just agreed with me that what you believe and what reality is can be different. I can believe X, but really reality is the case that it's not X. Okay? So my belief has no bearing over what's actually in reality. The question you're facing is Jesus actually there? And you're saying, well, I believe he is. But it could be the case that he's not. So your belief has no bearing on what reality is, and your belief is not helping you at all to come to an understanding of what reality is. So you can't just jump back to your belief when we ask you, how do you know he's actually there? What other evidence do you have that he's there?
Well, when I'm like praying for Jesus to reveal himself to me, I feel like I'm going straight to the source of the whole thing, like Jesus himself, because
You don't
they're
seem to
the
be
ones
understanding
that
what I'm
claim
asking.
Jesus is the Messiah.
You
Well,
don't seem to understand what I'm asking here, Derrick. I am okay. I'm going to go ahead and just straight out say it to you. Jesus is not there. You think he
right. Well, how
is.
you don't know?
How
How do you
how
know
do
that
we
if you don't ask?
how do we how do we take those two claims, Jesus is there and Jesus is not there, and how do we test it and come to a definitive conclusion?
Well, I would say pray to Jesus and ask him to reveal himself to you.
Which is what
How
you've
long do you
done.
wait for an answer?
Yeah. You've done this and you've
To the
waited a
day
long
you
time for your
die. I
own.
mean, I would just say, like, if you're on your deathbed and you've been praying all your life, and then 5 minutes before you die, Jesus comes to you and say, "Hey, here I am. I am real. I'm happy you believed in me." I'm like all your life, basically, until you're death, because I'm sure he'll answer within that time before you actually do pass away.
See, you're now assuming something, which is the very thing you're trying to test. Okay, you can't do that. How would you know you're wrong?
If I die and nothing, and he doesn't reveal himself, and there's like no heaven you go to after you die,
So
that's how I
you are
would
saying
know
that you
if I'm
have a
conscious at
belief,
that point.
Derrick, you have a belief that you can only know that you're wrong if, in fact, you survive your death and find out that you were wrong.
Right. If I die and nothing happens, then I'll know
What
if
if
I'm
you're
conscious that
wrong?
I was
What
wrong.
if you're wrong and you do not survive your death, which means you'll never know you were wrong?
Well, if I am wrong, then I won't know I'm wrong. So I guess
That's what I just
I
said.
wouldn't really have an opinion on it. I guess I really wouldn't have an
Yes,
opinion on it at that
you
point,
have
right?
an opinion now, Derrick, and right now the opinion you have is you are telling people that you believe something which you may never find out if it's right or wrong. If would you recommend that other people believe other things that they might never find out if they're right or wrong?
But in my mind, when I die,
No, Derrick.
and if I die
Would
and
you
nothing happens,
recommend,
then I'm not going to
Derrick,
really have an opinion on it.
Derrick,
Yeah.
Derrick? Would you recommend that people run around believing things that they acknowledge they can't prove whether or not they're true?
If they believe it with their whole heart, yes.
Okay, so you think if somebody believes with their whole heart that they're a billionaire, that that's okay?
Yes. Who am I to tell them that they are wrong?
Well, I don't know. You might be the person that they're trying to buy things from.
No, I believe if you want to say you're a billionaire and you believe that you're a billionaire and you want to live your lifestyle like you're a billionaire, then you should go for it.
Okay, you're an idiot, Derrick. You're a dangerous idiot. Do you know what happens with somebody who's not a billionaire begins to live their life as if they're a billionaire? They're going to die and they're going to do harm to themselves and others.
And that's on the low end of the risk scale. There are people running around with genuine beliefs right now who are doing active harm to others. And by your argumentation of, well, if they genuinely believe it, I don't care. We do.
Well, yeah, if a person wants to believe that they're a billionaire, they can believe that they're a billionaire. I don't understand why that's
Derrick,
like a bad
Derrick,
thing.
You just ignored what I said. What about people who are running around genuinely believing false beliefs and doing active harm to others?
Well, they're not causing harm to others by acting like they're billionaires.
Okay,
that just means they like expensive things.
I'm talking about more general beliefs, more religious beliefs that cause active harm to others. You don't care that those people
you mean
are
like
around you?
Allah, like Allah Akbar?
You can't
like
be this
that guy?
dense.
Derrick, I have your phone number. I'm going to call you from my cell phone.
Okay.
We're going to have a conversation off the show later today. Are you fine with that?
What time?
Right after the show's over, I'm going to call you.
Okay. I hope I'm not being pranked.
We'll find out. Okay. We have restored the show back to sanity. And yeah, we're gonna see what Derrick has to say. Because this is difficult, because if you don't care about what's true and you're like, hey, people can believe whatever, that's fine. You're fine. You're absolutely right. At no point have either myself or Eric suggested that people should not be legally allowed to believe things, or that there's anything we could do. Somebody in chat is saying that isn't okay. So Kemi loves us, or whatever. When you say that isn't okay, when I asked someone, I have your phone number, is it okay if I call you? What exactly wasn't okay about that? Like, if you genuinely think it's not okay for me to ask someone if it's okay for me to call them after the show, I would love for you to call in and explain it to me, because that's something I missed. I didn't tell you or anybody else the number, and I'm about to dial someone from my actual cell phone, so they'll have my phone number. What did it call in? Let me know what I missed about what's not good about that. Here we go. Max, your audio thing. Max, your audio thing is already a problem. But before you even get a chance to do a prank call. Have you got it turned off now, Max?
Fuck you.
Is that the best you got, Max? Oh, Max hung up. By the way, the call screener, the screener app said, if God is not real, why haven't atheists been able to disprove him for over 6,000 years when Genesis was written? So first of all, the very notion that you think that the Christian God in Genesis is the cornerstone of exactly when God belief and God beliefs in general began is that's so very cute. That's very cute. But the reality is that if there are falsifiable gods, they've been falsified to the extent of our ability. And if there are unfalsifiable gods or incoherent gods, then no one can falsify them. And they cannot also, by virtue of being unfalsifiable or incoherent, cannot have evidentiary warrant for their belief. So by calling in to say, why haven't atheists disproved God, and narrowing it to a specific God, you have demonstrated what I like to refer to as fractal wrongness. You are wrong at every conceivable resolution, no matter how much we zoom out or zoom in. Every aspect of everything in your prank call message was wrong. Because if there's a falsifiable God and it's within our power, then we've demonstrated that those gods don't exist. And you calling in as an admission
Thanks for watching that clip. Hey, we're trying to do some data research about whether or not our callers successfully proved that God existed. If they didn't, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's how we know they failed. But if you don't like and subscribe, you're saying that they succeeded. So you're saying that by liking and subscribing, you will be affirming that you are an atheist. Hey, what else should they do?
I don't know. Maybe go to patreon.com/calltheline and donate some of their hard-earned money.
Like and subscribe.